Oh my gosh, we're back. Woo! Oh, wow. Hey, Coding with Luz, thank you right away with that subscription. And that's a tier 2. I really appreciate that. And of course, we'll make a donation to Girl Develop It. Thank you so much, Coding with Luz, for that subscription. But hey, my name is Jeff Fritz. I want to welcome you back. We're back here on C# Fritz channel. It has been quite a week leading up. It is September 18th, 2018. And yeah, this is Fritz and Friends, but for the past week, we've done a lot. We've had a lot of content. We've had some amazing content. We had 2 great guests last week. We had Javier Lozano and we had Kathleen Dollard. That was awesome. It's the 19th. No, mine says the 18th. Might be the 19th where you are. We had .NET Conf last week, so we didn't have a stream on Friday because we had 24 hours of live coding, live presentations from friends all over the world, and it was amazing. I was so thrilled that we could pull it off. That was, for those of you who are Microsoft MVPs, who were at MVP Summit, you saw that we were planning this since March. This was something I was saying, hey, what if we did a 24-hour stream? And we pulled it off. And I think we pulled it off really, really well. It was great. I was thrilled with how it went. We had a couple technical challenges throughout the night. And I've got to tell you, for those of you that have a Surface Book, you might know this. The Surface Book 2, when you plug it into the power adapter, right? When you plug it in, not just the power adapter, but when you plug it into the docking station that they give you, which really isn't a docking station. It's more like a glorified power adapter that has a couple of USB ports on it that you can use. When you plug it into that and you're using more power, you're using things like the NVIDIA card inside your Surface Book, and you have it set to full power because you might be doing something like, I don't know, live streaming. You start to run out of power. You end up using more power than it's actually consuming off of that power adapter. And about 8 hours in, we're looking at the power going down, and we're at 60% power on the Surface Book that's running OBS and putting together everything for the stream. And Javier and I looked at each other and went, oh, crap. And we started running and trying, scrambling, figuring out, all right, we need another machine because we're not going to make it 24 hours. And we started trying to swap in another machine, and for some reason, the audio didn't take. All right, so let's swap back and go back to the other machine. And the audio still wasn't working. And it turned out it was the Mac that we were collecting audio from. And it was, it took a little bit to get that back up and running. But we got it running. We saved the day, and I still had a little bit of a audio snafu with the audio in the room because we were changing and rehooking things. And for some reason, the mixer board in the studio, it didn't show up quite right in OBS, and we ended up losing audio for James and Imo through most of the evening. So my voice sounds a little worn, so yeah, I've got a little bit of congestion, and I've also, you might notice I have a different mic. So this is an Audio Technica, and I'm using a Mackie Pro FX mixer now here in the home studio. So I've dialed up the bass a little bit, and the sinus work that I had done, you can still hear it a little bit in my voice, and that's going to clear up over the next few weeks. So really thrilled with it. So hello to all of our friends there in the chat room. So of course, Coding with Luz in the UK, Amavit from Denmark, Ancient Coder, great to see you. Ancient Coder was hanging around for so much of .NET Conf. It was great to see you and your participation. We were thrilled that you were able to join us for so much of the event. Namanja is here. Hey, hello. Bangalore is where Pradeep Nair is. Jandra Loon, Turrican, there's Chef Brent from Philadelphia area. Sarnal is here, and it was amazing. Yes, thank you so much for all the C# bot emotes. while we were broadcasting last week. Some of the Microsoft speakers were really thrilled to see that pop up. CD Sharp is here. Hello, and Shy Sharp. Janescu was the big winner last week, winning a prize during our virtual attendee party. And what else? Yeah. Want a Surface Go. Look at that. Really, really cool stuff. All right. I need to get some music playing here. What do you think? We need to get some music to code by. What should we play today? Eeny, meeny, miny, red. There we go. So, I'm tinkering with sound levels as we go along here. Of course, this is music to code by from our friend Carl Franklin. This is scientifically engineered to get you in the groove, get you in the flow. And Carl has graciously granted us permission to be able to listen to his music and get in the flow while we're coding here together live on stream. There we go. Thanks so much, Carl, for letting us play music. If you enjoy music to code by, you can also get a subscription at musictoflowby.com. There's a couple of songs out there for free. You can download from the web. Check it out. We really enjoy it, and I hope you show him some support. Yes, Chef Brent was around a bit advertising during .NET Conf. M. Magano, hello all. You heard the news about Mike James as one of 3 Microsoft MVPs in the UK for Xamarin. I cannot express how amazing it is to have him return home. No, I don't know about Mike James. What happened? Let's see. In recorded form, yes. Pre-recorded. Hey, DevLead is here. Good afternoon. We're going to be looking at a pull request from DevLead today because we did our DevOps workshop yesterday. So that was a sponsored by Microsoft bit. So we were running that over on the Visual Studio channel, and we had a great time talking to Donovan Brown. Oren Novotny joined us for an hour. I forget some of the other folks that joined us, but then we ended with Abel Wang, and it was really, really cool. James Montemagno is joining us on Twitch. Yes. So we spent a good amount of time with James last week, and he was already leaning towards doing some stuff on Twitch. And when James saw my Stream Deck setup that I had for the event, I think he was sold. He jumped right in with both feet, and he was all about it. Oh, he's a cloud developer advocate in London. That's great. Very cool. And you enjoyed the workshop. So glad to hear it. We had a lot of work that we put into getting that workshop up and running. My friend Dimitri, who organized the entire DevOps launch, not just the workshop. He came to me after seeing the workshops that we had done on this stream and said, hey, we'd really like to do a workshop for our DevOps launch. And that's why I had to be a little coy around, yeah, we're going to do a DevOps workshop. But we had been planning that for months, and it was a lot of fun. 6 hours. It's available for you on the Visual Studio channel here on Twitch. You can also find it over on YouTube if you go to the Visual Studio channel there as well. I had to switch G Fuel containers here. This is the Philly container that I'm using. There you go. And I was using the only green one that they had, and I loved the green container. I wanted a plain G Fuel shaker container, but the only one they had was what they call grass, and that doesn't work on stream. That's a green container. So I had to change it up so I didn't suddenly have holes in the middle of my face. All right. Enough fun, enough catch up. We've got a couple of pull requests out here for CoreWiki, including, and I love seeing this, including some stuff about Azure pipelines. So let's head over here. Oh gosh, I should call out the Rainbow Beard Challenge. We are at 3745, and we've got just about a month to go to bring in a little more than 1,200. 1,200 followers in about 30 days. I don't think we're going to do it. I don't think it's going to happen. Let me know. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your pets, sign up for Twitch, drop a follow out there, and if we make it, we'll do the Rainbow Beard. But I don't think we're gonna make it. I'm like right here. I feel like I could do ASMR streams all day. I could either go bass or just whisper a lot. Anyways, love James. He's lovely, knowledgeable in person as he is online. Cool. I'm not familiar with Mike James. Chef Brent installs all of the streaming tools for comparison purposes. Yeah, I've done a little bit of that, but I'm pretty well settled on OBS. Even though I was having a lot of problems with the NDI driver. Get Kit Boga to host. Oh, John Draloon. Kit Boga would certainly flip me over. I've seen one or two of Kit Boga streams with the all right, Kit Boga calls scammers, phone scammers, and tricks them and plays all kinds of jokes on them. And I don't know. Some people think that's fun. That's great. More power to him. Kit Boga writes some code in the evenings to kind of set up his honeypot for them. I get what he's trying to do. Hey, enjoy it. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. So, .NET Conf was one of the buffs to the Rainbow Beard Challenge. It didn't add that many, That's okay. So, we've got a couple of pull requests that came in for CoreWiki. Of course, CoreWiki is the project that we've been working on here on stream as an educational project, and we've been learning along the way how to build an ASP.NET Core project from the ground up and slowly add new features. And then we've introduced some more complex architecture to it so that we can learn about those architectures and also allow us to separate out the various components of building this application so that then we can introduce some other practices, some other patterns, some other tools so that it can become a little bit more interesting and we can learn about those other tools and what value they bring to our projects, whether it is something like a wiki project, or maybe it's as interesting or as simple as, a new accounting application that you might be building at your organization. And what I think is really great about the different things that we've done with CoreWiki is I think there's various pieces that we've built here that you can lift and you can reuse in your projects, wherever you might be, and benefit from that. And of course, if you figure out how to do something on one of your projects, contribute it back to us. Open a pull request, write up what it is that you've built and that you think is interesting that we can use here in CoreWiki, and we'll review it and we may include it. And then when we get to the next screen, we'll put your name on the scoreboard and show our appreciation for the work that you've contributed to the project that we're all learning from together. Let's see what we've got here. Hey, there's Brave Cobra. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in yesterday. I did notice you in the chat rooms over there. We had 5 chat rooms going during the Azure DevOps workshop. And there were 3 or 4 moderators that were running around back and forth between the various YouTube channels and Mixer and Twitch. And they went heavy promoting Mixer yesterday. That was a request from, I'll just say, some folks at Microsoft. And without any advertising, we still had more folks on Twitch. Nobody wrote a consolidation chat room. There is one on Restream, and the consolidation chat room on Restream just doesn't give you access. Doesn't give you as good access to being able to moderate all those different chat rooms. Mixer is cute. I kind of agree. It's so cute over there. It's so nice and doing its thing, and it's just so wonderful. Okay. So let's take a look at some of these pull requests that we have here. I see we have one from Brave Cobra. There's a couple more comments from Chris Jones on this last one here about Style Cop. Based on recent discussions, updated the PR so that Style Cop is added into each project in the solution. There is a Style Cop rule set at solution level. All violations are shown as warnings rather than errors. Okay. All warnings are reset to Style Cop defaults. Let me come back to this one. I think there's there's some interesting things that we can do here. Stream tools, consolidate chat room. For viewing, I guess we can do that. Azure DevOps and Mixer seem to cause me lobotomy migraine. All right. What was interesting for me yesterday about the DevOps workshop, I kicked off a replay here on Twitch. There's another feature Mixer doesn't have. I kicked off an automated rerun here on Twitch, and within minutes of kicking it off, I had folks in the chat room that were cussing, that were being nasty, racist language. It killed me to see that. And I mean, I immediately, went through and I started blocking and punting these people. It's just terrible. The Mixer audience is mostly Xbox users, and that crowd can get rude from what I've heard from streamers trying it coming from Twitch. I'm not surprised. I'm not. I think there's a much more relaxed audience here on Twitch that has seen and knows how to interact with folks. I missed a couple comments here. Turrican says, if we fail the beard challenge, keep in mind we have this awesome wiki rainbow theme left. Yes, we do. We do. And I think it's available. So let's get over to the big screen here. Let's get over to here. There I am. 52 people watching right now. 3745 is the count. There is gaming communities that have toxic people. Yes, indeed. Even on YouTube yesterday, there were a couple of not nice comments. Yeah, I know. Agent Coder. I look at that and I wonder what these people are really, that you have fun doing this, being so nasty to people. I mean, come on. I have zero tolerance for that, and I am quick to punt people. I feel that overstates the general Twitch audience's maturity, but it seems about right for programming streams. There is definitely a section here on Twitch where there is a different culture, where there is a different there's a different level of acceptance, and I very much appreciate that. Only we are nice. Absolutely, Brave Cobra. We are very nice here. Open arms, ready to welcome and interact with anybody who wants to join and ask any questions. So probably because they're a lot more sedate, mature. Always the question on mine, who hurt you? Yes, agreed. I guess they are not happy with their life, so they troll hate. I don't get it. Let's take a look at this one. Refactor search with DTO. This comes from Brave Cobra, hanging out there in the chat room. Playing a guitar there in the avatar. Very nice. The search page still using a domain object search result directly, so I refactor the search application to return a search result DTO instead. So we got 9 files that changed. We introduced a search result DTO. Article search engine now returns a search result DTO. Search engine, there's the concrete implementation, search article handler, search article query, and search tests, returning the correct thing. CoreWiki is not directly referencing the core project. Okay. And the search page is now referencing the DTO. Okay. Let's take a look at this and let's talk about what's going on here and explain exactly why Brave Cobra made this change. I like this change, but I want to make sure that we discuss this. So I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to do this merge by hand because I want to talk about this and make sure that we're all on the same page. We understand what's going on here because it's been a while since we've talked about some of these architectural things here on stream. So let's go back over to Visual Studio. That's a lot of alt tabs. Thank you, Karnak. And that's my app settings for something completely different. All right. Okay. So what's going on here? CoreWiki, of course, started off as a very CRUD-based application, right? Create, read, update, and delete. And you can do that with the default templates that come with ASP.NET, that come with Visual Studio, and you'll be able to run your application easily, cross-platform, Windows, Mac, and Linux, no problem. And that's okay. That gets you out the door. That gets you up and running. But it's very much at that point demoware, right? You haven't done too much to actually do anything with it, right? You haven't gotten very complex. And scalability, scale-wise, you're kind of depending on, you're going to drag a slider in some cloud platform to say, well, just give me a bigger box. But at some point, you run out of physics. And you're going to need to actually do something more interesting and to scale horizontally so that you can have multiple web servers. And when you do start bringing that in, well, you need to start to sync those web servers. And you need to push your database somewhere else. And then you need to start centralizing your logic so that when you cache on those front-end web servers, you're managing that cache evenly. So, don't you hate it when you run out of physics? I know! You run out of physics. And then what? Then we're going to go back and we're going to figure out what we did wrong. $28,800. $33,600. Oh, maybe. $56K. Yeah. So you got to go back and figure out, how do we make this? Get Newton to help you there. There we go. That even happens on our much smaller channels for Twilio. Yeah, it's terrible. The trolls that are out there. Yellow y'all. Hey, Uncle Bill Druin. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Arnold. Don't you hate it when you run out of physics? Well, I already said that one. And let's get Newton to help me. Yeah, let's get Newton to help me. So we've already started refactoring, and you can go back to our architecture workshop, and you can see where we talked with Jimmy Bogart and with Julie Lerman about some of the architecture changes that we should make inside of our CoreWiki project in order to start making this a little bit easier to manage as we learn to scale. So we've already taken our CoreWiki project, and this is our ASP.NET Core project, and we've already refactored out any kind of direct interaction with the database. We don't want our web servers to do that. We want our web servers to be as dumb as possible. Like, real dumb. Like, it doesn't get any more dumber than this dumb. Okay? We want it to just know how to say, I got this information and I need to get data from the database. We're going to run a query because I want to get data. And that query will put onto a bus. We're going to use Mediator for this, and that query will return our data. We don't care where it comes from, but Mediator, go figure out how to go get that data and give me what I'm looking for. And then we're ready to save data or interact with that data, make a change to that data. We're going to create a command, and that command we're going to put on the bus and say, Mediator, go figure out how to do something with this. I don't care what you do with it, but do this thing. And that's the basics of CQRS architecture. Now, what Brave Cobra has done here is we were using an object that was still tied to the database a little bit. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to have any kind of direct reference to that. So we introduce what are called data transport objects. And this allows us to transport objects across boundaries in our application. As we scale up and we introduce these additional layers, we want to make sure that we have a simple transaction that occurs across those layers inside of our application. So we introduce what are called data transaction objects, or data transfer objects. I'm sorry, DTOs. Okay, that's what you'll see for short. I want to make sure the acronym police are with me. There we go, data transfer objects. Yeah, I inadvertently said the wrong one. So that's what we're introducing here is we've gone into our search page and we've introduced a data transfer object. I believe you called it search result DTO, right? No, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Search result. Yeah, I had search result DTO. Why didn't it find that? John Dre Hype. What do we got? Sandbox engineering games actually do run into out of physics. Yes. Thus the sim speed crashes to a crawl. Yeah, I know. But I don't want to run out of physics when I've got a cloud. If I've got a cloud, I want to be able to push a slider over that says, give me more cloud. And my application just hulks up and says, I'll take care of that. Ha ha. And do its thing, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're enabling our application so that we can scale up. We can add more application servers so that our web servers can still be dumb and sit out there and just generate angle brackets and curly braces for visitors to join. So, yes. So DAO, Data Access Objects, Brave Cobra is mentioning here in the chat room. DAO, those data access objects, those are what we're using to actually interact with whatever our data storage mechanism is. And we've actually started introducing some other data storage mechanisms here as well. So this is our search result DTO, and you can see it uses a lot of primitive objects, right? Not just primitives. We've got the one complex object here, this list that we're returning. Right, we're returning a collection of, here's the results that we found, right? This is the query that you submitted. This is the results that we're returning, the total number of results that are available, not just the one page that we're returning here. And we're indicating what the page number is with this current page property. The total number of pages based on the results per page and the total number of results. We do that math for you. Is there any difference between DAO and DTO? So the data access object, DAO, is that object that we're using to interact directly with the database, right? So when you use Entity Framework, right? So here's our Entity Framework project, right? And we have, I'll look at this in just a second. This is a great place that you can really see that those DAO objects in action. And right, the data in Entity Framework, that's our object relational model or model tool that we use here in .NET. We have these database contexts, and our database context has a collection of properties that define the tables and objects we're interacting with. So we have articles inside of our wiki, while the articles collection is a collection of article DAO, data access object classes. And this object defines what our table looks like, okay? They look the same. They have some different purposes here. So we've got some indicators here, right? Some attributes that we've put on top of our data access objects that define how we're going to build the database, right? These aren't concerns anywhere else in our application except for our interactions with the database. So that's the DAO. Now the data transfer object is what we're going to return across those boundaries so that it doesn't need to worry about or think about what the database looks like. We can change the shape of things, right? We have results that are coming back that I don't care what the database looks like. So in DAO, we put annotations for database like primary key, should something be lazy loaded. I will amend that with for now. Steve, I heard that, but I think it came. Were you able to hear Steve on the channel? I know I turned Steve down a bit, but thank you very much for the follow there, Amit. So he was like, good. I have been turning him down slowly. So when you're using Entity Framework and your DAO objects are with Entity Framework, yes, you will see database annotations there as well. Is DAO DTO replacing model view model? DTO feeds into the view model. I would say DTO might be model. I see some announcements for .NET Conf, which is already done. Yeah, I haven't removed the image over there in the other corner. We will we'll remove that, and there's some other backgrounds on the Visual Studio channel that we're going to update and remove today. So, all right. DTO. No. All right. So this is our search result DTO that was introduced. So in this way, if we look at our iSearch, iArticle search engine, right? So the search engine right now is very simple. It just has a like statement, and you pass in, here's the term that I'm going to search for, and you get some collection of articles returned. That's okay. That's what I need. And those things are passed through the application layers to the front end, to our website, which will turn that into a view model appropriate for the web and present that. But these are very simple objects that are intended to keep all the logic about how to parse and interact with the database and the business logic of those objects somewhere else. Eric Warren, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Oh man, here comes the follow train, and we're seeing that number go up. Cool. So that's what's going on with the search result DTOs. So when I do look at my search page, right, so we have this search result DTO, and if I look at the search page, here it is. So this is a Razor page, right? This is a template that's being managed. I don't need to go through a controller. It's just being rendered with a page model called search model. And when I look at the search model, here it is, page model. There's a search result that is a search result DTO being returned that we interact with, right? This class itself is a view model. That using statement should not be there. Which using statement? We've got a couple of them here. Which one are you thinking of? In iSearch engine. Da, 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 da. I missed it. iSearch, iArticle search engine. This one. Yeah, that's okay. So what I'll do, just to make sure, let's actually do a build, make sure everything works. This says everything built, but I'm going to run it here locally myself just because I can. Come on. Build succeeded. Good. Where'd it go? Where'd my search page? So there's the search page. I thought I had the page open. There it is. So the search page just takes in a mediator object and goes and creates a query and says, execute this query mediator and tell me what you find. And then we map this out. Now we should use AutoMapper to convert this from a search result into a search result. Wait a sec. The query now, doesn't it return a search result DTO? Search result is the view model, which is a search result DTO of type article summary. Yeah, I worry that we're manipulating this twice here. Right, because the search engine is returning a... Right, where to go? iArticle search engine is returning a search result DTO of type article search result DTO. Yeah, it does feel like I got a loop. So the query, right? Search articles query, right? So here, this is our query object, right? This is a request that returns a search result DTO of types article search DTO. So this is returning one of these, but it's of a different type, an article summary, not the DTO. Article summary is a view model. So we're just changing it so that it outputs properly. Hey there, Steve. Thanks so much for introducing our next follower there. That is Showbiz Jackson. Welcome, Showbiz. Great to see you. So this is just doing this translation from the DTO to an article summary object, which when I look at it, it's basically the same. So I'm wondering how much we really need to do this transfer. Yeah, we should do that mapping if we're going to keep the article summary view model, but they're the same right now. I know it's separation of concerns. I know. So, I'll leave it go for right now. So on get latest changes, so we can say, right, there's also an entry point into the search where you say, give me the latest articles. And this does a quick search that says, give me the latest articles. Fantastic. Yes, Malachi, absolutely. Keep it simple, stupid. That's me. So, and if we do a run here, we should see our search runs properly. And when I do a search, it gives me something that looks like good search results. All right, come on. Yes, there was a breakpoint. I don't need the breakpoint. Doom, 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 boom. Come on. Show me the money. Show me the money.
Do it!
I know. Let's do it. All right. So we have the default page set up. And why is it showing me the default page? I thought I had all my content loaded. No matter. So if I do latest changes, I should see, yeah, all my content. Cool. So if I search for something called article, because I see a number of things here called article, enter. Oh my gosh, Chef Brent. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Chef Brent has just gifted 5 subscriptions to other viewers here in the chat room. So that is Mr. Regs, Calibron, Trife Life, CN Romaine, and Asha 85RS. Thank you so much for that. I'm flattered that you would share those subscriptions with our followers. And I'm going to match all of those subscriptions. And we're going to make a donation to Girl Develop It. They help women and underserved minorities learn how to write code just like we're doing here on stream. If you saw me a week ago Saturday, so about 10 days ago, I was very moved to make a sizable donation to our friends at Girl Develop It that my employer did match. And I'm thrilled that they're able to host tons of classes now for folks that can learn how to write code. Thank you so much, Chef Brent. And to those folks that received subs, this is September. So Twitch is running a promo that you just got your first subscription. Next month, you'll be able to renew for $1. But I'm going to match that at the full price. So good causes, great people. Thank you so much, Chef Brent. We really appreciate that.
Oh my.
Oh my, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So all of our new subscribers, use and abuse that emote, that .NET bot emote, so that folks know that you've been here on my channel. It has its purposes, works perfectly to clean out your controllers or use it as an in-memory message bus, which we're doing here. Yes, Malachi, I think, right? Who was it who asked that? About Mediator. Somebody was asking, what do you think about Mediator? Yep, there you go. Yes, Malachi was asking, how do we like Mediator? I think it's great. I think when we start to do some separation and we introduce some horizontal scaling and we put a second web server in, Mediator is going to get even more interesting. And we separate out an application server, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So I searched for article and I do have just things that say article in the title coming back. So I'm pretty happy with that. That looks good. The search still works great. So I'm okay with merging this. Hey, there's .NET Conf. All right. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew exactly why Brave Cobra was doing this before I went ahead and did the squash and merge. So squash and merge, yes, go ahead and do it. Thank you for cleaning up more of the search engine functionality. Spell functionality, right, Jeff? Fantastic. And that'll increase Brave Cobra's number up there on the ticker that you see at the top of the screen. Of course, that ticker we built. That's our own thing that we built here on stream that shows exactly who has contributed to our projects. And for each commit, the count goes up, so you can see folks that have contributed and done some really cool things for us. T.S. Peroni, thank you for following us. Steve, you're getting a workout there. You're looking a little sweaty. Take it easy there, buddy. That leaves issue 296. ASP.NET Identity is referencing CoreWiki core directly. Yeah, I bet that is a little bit trickier. But here's the one, and I got to think. I think is DevLead still here? I thought I saw Matthias still wandering around. No, I don't see him. There you go, Mr. Regs. That's how you use that C# bot. Absolutely. Get into that chat room and type C# capital B OT, and yeah, you can get a little crazy with the C# bot. I need to replace Dumb Jeff. The second emote that's available in stream is a ball cap, but there's already a ball cap emote available. So I was looking at that and thinking, oh well, that's stupid. I thought it was cool to have a hat emote just like I wear all the time. So I'm looking for a third emote to put on stream. Our friend Maz really likes the C# shield, the Save the Day C# logo. That's cool, but I need another emote. And if I get partner, I'm going to need lots of emotes. Is that Sir Colex or Sir Cholex? Let me know. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. All right. Oh, I got to make sure I share with you. Quick schedule update. Friday. Our friend Mark Miller from Code Rushed, the Code Rush channel, we're going to do a crossover. Mark's going to join us. He had some really great stuff that came out in Code Rush that they announced last week as part of .NET Conf. He wants to show us some of that functionality, and we're going to work together a little bit on CoreWiki and some other things here on stream. So I hope you join us on Friday for that. Next week is Microsoft Ignite. I have been promised a special guest. Our friend Richard Campbell is organizing the guests and podcasters there. I am setting up for a special guest on Friday. He has a tremendous rainbow beard. I've been promising to do some work on PowerShell here on stream. And I've put in a request for a guest on Friday that can help us with PowerShell. That's all I'm going to say about who it is. We'll see if he's available and he can join us. If he is, it may be really, really cool here. Sequel, Mr. Magoo, good to see you. Listening in cars, so start typing. Yes, we'll do it. Here we go. So this is PowerShell combo with .NET Conf. I think there's a lot that we should do with PowerShell and CoreWiki so that you can automate deploying CoreWiki. But we'll see what we can do there. All right. Coming off of yesterday's DevOps workshop, and I felt almost embarrassed when I was talking to Donovan that I do right-click deploys with CoreWiki. I'm sorry. I do. You know what? I'm going to remove that .NET Conf logo while I'm here. We're going to go a little behind the scenes. Let me show you how I have that sitting out there, and I'm going to remove that and clean that up real quick because you're right. It shouldn't be there. That's just wrong. So here we go. This is what I do. So here I have, this is my dev folder, stream images, and I have event logos here. And this is where I have all the logos that you see go by over there on the other corner. And I just put I put the date of the event ahead so that they all just appear in the right order over there. And of course I have Wintellect Now, Dev Intersection sitting here. There's a great collection of videos from me on Wintellect Now, talking through and introducing some of these topics. But I'm just going to remove this and put it into my old event logos over here. And now I need to actually refresh the event logos over there. Otherwise, when it goes to find it, it won't actually load it. So I believe it's this one. Yep. So here's the little slideshow that goes by over there. Now it doesn't actually refresh. It'll show a blank space when it gets to .NET Conf. Watch this. So Dev Intersection is going to go by, and we'll see Wintellect Now, and it's going to be for 15 seconds. I don't want to wait 15 seconds. Come on, go. Angular Mix. We're speaking at Angular Mix, NOP Commerce Days, Tech Bash, Dev Intersection. Make sure you sign up for Dev Intersection. There's going to be big announcements there, and I think it's already cleared up. Fantastic. So there we go. Microsoft Ignite. That's where I am now. Cake was great in .NET Conf. Did we do Cake at .NET Conf? Maybe it should be better to use Cake for that instead of PowerShell. I want to make sure we support all kinds of different tools. All right. So, oh my gosh, Doom Breakers. All right. There, we've got a leader for the nickname of the day. Doom Breakers, welcome. That's a great Twitch nick. I like it. I might be heading to Dev Intersection, Brent says. Dev Intersection is going to be great. There's a general session scheduled with myself and NoopCat. That's Sue Hinton. We're going to do some live IoT programming on stage and on Twitch. Really cool stuff. There we go. Couple more .NET bot emotes. Great to see that. So yesterday we did the DevOps workshop, and we learned a lot about the new Azure Pipelines tool. And DevLead, you jumped on this before I had a chance to. Azure Pipelines is free for open source projects to use. So you can set up and do continuous integration out on Azure DevOps, as an open source project, up to 10 concurrent builds. Really, really great stuff. So our friend Matthias, DevLead here, put together an Azure Pipelines file to go and start building on macOS, Windows, Linux, and a Docker container on the hosted Linux agent for CoreWiki. I was going to do this today myself, but look at this. Hail Hydra. Oh, I didn't call out my hat. Yes, I'm wearing the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hat. And actually, check this out. Check this out. Right? This is my favorite part of this hat. Look at this. Nick Fury! Woo! The Captain Marvel trailer came out today. And I've been a huge fan of the Captain Marvel comic books for 5-6 years? Since before they announced the movie. And to see the Carol Danvers character fully realized, this is going to be a special movie. The trailer had some shortcomings. They were a little bit too. Too short on details. Why do I care about her? They could have put a line in there or something that says, here comes the captain that's going to save us from Thanos. Something like that to kind of lead us into, where we left off. Half of everybody's gone, not dead, gone. And here comes Captain Marvel. And as you saw at the end of that video, that trailer for Captain Marvel, she gonna bust him up. Okay. Let me go back over here. All right. We'll do the pipelines. Here we go. So DevLead started building out the pipelines here for us. And if we look at the files, I mean, this is great. Already introducing. Here's the different jobs. So Mac OS, build on Mac OS is the display name. We're going to use the Mac OS 10.13 image. Right? This is a YAML file. This is how you configure Azure DevOps. We learned all about how this is structured, how it works, how you can build your own, and how you can see some really complex ones. Some great samples out there from our friend Oren Novotny yesterday. Abel Wang took us through step-by-step how to build these, and Donovan gave us a great overall, intro to the topic. So I encourage you to check out yesterday's video over there on the Visual Studio channel, and it's also out there on the Visual Studio YouTube. So if you want to learn more about how we got to this point. So looking through here, there's a .NET Core installer that's going to say use .NET Core SDK, and it's going to make sure we get the current SDK version. All right. And then we're actually going to execute the Cake Bootstrapper. That should be Bootstrapper. I do that all the time too. I forget the T, and it ends up being Bootstrapper. And then build on Windows using .NET Core SDK, so we get the same .NET Core installer, and then Linux, and then calling build sh, and then Docker, and then the task is Docker 1, calling build image, running on Ubuntu. Make sure you say that right. Ubuntu. I have targeting latest, but not even updated. And Navy SEALs, what? Says Marvel Heart. Yeah, absolutely. Love the Marvel movies. It would mainly be to stream, says Chef Brent. Let's talk about that. I don't know how much you've talked to the organizers over there, but I am all about more streaming at conferences. I think there's a ton we can do over there. So, hey, Mr. Regs, Jay Miller's here. Hello, hello. Good morning. All right. I'm finding I'm drinking more and more G Fuel on stream. But they want 10,000 followers before they'll do any kind of a sponsorship. Whatever. Hey, Chris Jones. So, Ewoks. That's an interesting way to spell it. Hey, Ewoks, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. And I'm watching this number here move. We're moving into the blue colors now. We're going to get into that purple soon. And then this will get into the purple, right? If we get there by October 20th, I will diet, but I don't think we're going to get there. So I mentioned this. Holy!
Oh my. Oh my.
Mr. Regs! Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is paying it forward indeed. Great job. Oh my gosh. 10 subscriptions to folks on our channel, and I will match all 10 of those subscriptions, and we will make donations to Girl Develop It. Oh my gosh. Let me run down the list here. Martin, 845, Burned Taco, Liquironics, Chris Jones, you get a sub. Ace Flameseer, you get a sub. Ewoks, you just joined us. You get a subscribe. JSPP, 64, Tales of Me, and Filderbeast. Congratulations, you've all now got subs to the channel. Use that .NET bot, use that C# bot, loud and proud. And you're going to get the little coffee mug indicator. I am going to improve those indicators there. Sub hype. Very nice, Uncle Bill. Yes, I like that. It's a capital B in C# bot. There you go, HMigo. Thank you so much, Mr. Regs. I am flattered that you fine folks are sharing these subscriptions here on channel. Wow. Ace Flameseer, Mr. Regs just gave out a bunch of subs, and you now have a sub. Yeah, HMigo, you're right, but there's a syntax that Twitch has for that. Code Rewind, thank you for that subscription. I've got to salute Code Rewind with this sound effect. And we'll match that subscription too. Thank you so much for bringing your Twitch Prime subscription. And if you would like a subscription, Twitch Prime, of course, is free to connect to your Amazon Prime subscription. Twitch likes me to read this for them. It's free to connect your Twitch Prime to your Amazon Prime subscription. And of course, if you have a Twitch Prime subscription, you can get a subscription to a channel. One channel, free each month. Oh my gosh. Meat Popsicle is back 7 months. Thank you so much for renewing. I appreciate you hanging with us for 7 months. That's awesome stuff. Of course, every subscription, every bit that's cheered here on channel, I match and we donate. And I've actually got... Come in a little closer. I was talking to some of the bosses at Build. October is a charity drive month at Microsoft. We might do something. No guarantees. We might. There's a thing. It's been talked about. I don't know. I'm going to lean in a little bit and see what happens. All right. Amazon Prime for a year is also cheaper than subbing for a year. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yes, all that sub-hype, Mr. Regs. Absolutely. So I mentioned this pull request about the Azure pipelines, and I was thrilled that DevLead jumped on this. And I also love that you already dropped in the Azure Pipelines build indicator here. This is really neat. So this is the indicator, and you can't see it here behind me. Right? It's over here. It's actually pointing out to devazure.com, and it's pointing to DevLead's fork of our application, and you can see it being built here. Now this is pretty cool to see the summary. You can look at the entire set of logs here and exactly what's going on. And you can see it's building and running on all 4 operating systems. I'll throw Docker in as an operating system. It's not really an operating system, but hey, it's kind of like one, right? So let's take a look at the tests run here, right? And we should see the tests running on each one of no test runs are available. Enable automated tests in your build pipeline by running your test framework of choice, such as blah, 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 blah. If you choose to run tests using a custom task or runner, you can publish results using the publish test results task. Feels like we are running tests. Feels like we might be able to grab those tests using the publish test results and put it out here. Let me come back to that, because I absolutely want to have tests come out there so that we can see our tests increasing over time, because we do need unit tests. We do need some integration tests. It would be awesome to throw some Selenium tests in here so that we can automate how we're evaluating and testing this application. And I know I've got some QA friends out there that are really good with some of those testing tools, and to drop integration tests into our pipeline and learn more about how tests run here on Azure DevOps, I think is a great experience for all of us. What is the option if you don't want to use that for DevOps? So right now, it's a good question from Janescu. If you don't want to use Azure DevOps, that's okay. Nothing says you have to. If you look back over here, for open source projects, I'm using, this does work. I can remove that. I am using AppVeyor, and that is currently wired up to our project, right? You are seeing these checks because AppVeyor is running against this, right? When it says all checks have passed, right? AppVeyor build succeeded. AppVeyor's been around for a long time. You can always use this to go do a build and see exactly how your application is working. And that's okay. That's great. But I want to try Azure DevOps because I think it's a great tool for us to learn about and use here on stream. Now, like I said, I mentioned this, and our friend Oren, who was part of that, and he's been on stream with us here, has some comments and some discussion about what we can do to improve this pull request. Do you have any BDD framework suggestions for .NET Core? Asks Pradeep Nair. You know what I like to use? And I'm just going to look for it real quick. I don't know if it's available for .NET Core. It is. .NET Code. Let's see. So I've used SpecFlow a bit in the past, right? SpecFlow does that behavior-driven development interaction, right? Behavior-driven development is a little bit like normal test-driven development that you're used to seeing, but it uses that Gherkin language of given, when, then. And you're able then to create documents that say given, when, then, and SpecFlow will translate that into real tests that'll execute against your application. Let me just take a quick look here under the overflow. Does this support professional support? That's nice that they have professional support now. Does it support .NET Core? I see .NET Framework. I'm looking for .NET Core. I don't see Core. Uh-oh. SpecFlow.NET Core. .NET Core support for SpecFlow. We've been working on adding it. You can follow current status here. Yes, I would like to follow it. So they're working on it. Last updated about a month ago. So I would use this. I think SpecFlow's been really good, and there's a nice plugin to Visual Studio for it. I can't use Azure DevOps. Why can't you use DevOps? If I use my DevOps Go 0. Let me know why you can't use it, Janescu. I think I've talked to a couple of folks that might be able to help you with that. All right, so the one change I make would be to use the new VM image terms instead of queue. Can address that, but we'll also give, okay. Updated the PR, changed from face to job, then I use pool VM image. Okay. These are the same now. So let me go here. Let's look at this again. You know, this looks really cool. It's neat to see this thing building properly. And if I look at the file, right, so here's the final rendered file. It's funny, these are different terms, different items, different commands in this script than what were used in the YAML that we saw yesterday. So I feel like this this could be a little confusing already. But cool, right? This does its thing. It's already sitting out here. You know, we could merge this, and then I need to set up a pipelines account to actually interact and use this file. So it sure looks like it built properly, referencing and looking at it over here. So, Jay Miller, Dev, thank you for that subscription. And as you've heard, I will of course match, and we will make a donation together to Girl Develop It. Thank you so much. I'm going to merge this because it sure looks like it's working properly. Cool. Thank you for jump-starting our usage of Azure DevOps. Awesome stuff. And you know what? I'm going to, while I'm here... No, that's not what I wanted. Bad Jeff. I'm going to just touch up. Give me 1 second here. Let me do this. We haven't touched the .NET Philly project in a while. I am going to just hide that real quick. Oh, good. It's on the other screen. All right. My list of projects here. I'm going to hide that project and force an update on the ticker. There we go. Much better. All right. So now let's go over to Azure DevOps and let's start setting up this pipeline. So dev.azure.com. Let's start there. dev.azure.com. Azure DevOps. Sign in. I think I already have an account. I probably do. I'll sign in with that account. It's going to come back and tell me, you got a bunch of crap out here. Essences? I don't know what Essences is. So Fritz Developments, this is like whenever I need a business name, I use Fritz Developments. Let me see what's under C# Fritz. Because I'm sure, here we go, projects. My configuration builders, my stream CI demo. Mr. Magoo, 7 months in a row. Thank you so much for renewing that subscription with your Twitch Prime. Great stuff. Thank you. And 7 months in a row, that means I matched a lot of your subscriptions when we made that donation the other week. So thank you again. Of course, we'll match and donate. Just started learning C# today. Exciting stuff. Well, thank you, Enzaru666. I'm not going to be writing too much C# today. I'm actually building the project, but I would encourage you, take a look at our CoreWiki project out here on GitHub. github.com/C#Fritz/CoreWiki. There's a link to it underneath me on the wall here on my Twitch channel, and you'll be able to grab that project, take a look at some of the things that we've built together. And we're always looking for and accepting help in the project. So if you see something that's interesting that you'd like to contribute, take a look. We're always happy to give some constructive feedback. Don't be afraid. We aren't nasty here on stream, because if anybody is nasty, they'll hear it from me. Cool. Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Enzuru. All right, so let's create a new project here so we can build out that pipeline for, I'm just going to call this CoreWiki. And can I make this public? Why won't it let me make it public? I want to make this public. Why won't it let me make it? Yes, I know. Why is it grayed out? Your enterprise is preventing you from selecting this option. Corbold, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Helping us inch towards that rainbow beard challenge. You know what? I feel like I need to set up another account here, because this account is hooked up to my Microsoft account. So let's do this. Let's not create CoreWiki in this account. Bad account. Different account. Need a new account. Sign out. Yeah, look at all this crap. That's a lot of crap. We don't want that. Bad idea. Yeah, what? Ugh. All right, start free. I'm going to use a new account. Great one, please. And I'm going to use a different account because I can. It's already a Microsoft. Oh, it is. I do have that one. Hey, Enzeru, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us here. So Jeff at jeffreyfritz.com, that's me. Let's see if I remember my password, because I've got so many of them. Cool. Signed in. Yes, that's my name. Yes. From the United States. Yes. So I'm doing literally the entire brand new setup, brand new project. Look at that. Now that's an avatar. Choose an image. Should I go? No, that's good enough. That's me. Preferences. English, date pattern, sure. Time pattern. I like the 24-hour time. I'm funny like that. Time zone. Now, you can't detect my time zone here? Come on, fella. I am Eastern. UI theme default. Is there high contrast? Nah, stick with that. You need to go to account settings and change it. I'm in an organization that won't let me because I merged my accounts. Like it knows things about me. Create a new organization. Okay, sure. Get started. All right, let's do it. Name your DevOps organization. Fritz and Friends. You'll host your projects in... Oh. I wanted to be East US. Sure, we'll do Central. That's fine. Hey, good morning, ThinkBot Labs. Ashnor says you should go smack the person who worked on the UI for not being able to detect your time zone. Not a bad idea. And Tiago Norana says, good morning. Western Europe. Yes, Tizarnal. That sounds like a good idea. I'm going to make this a public project, and we are, of course, going to call this CoreWiki. Create it. Do it. So my thinking is I'll have a Fritz and Friends public organization here where we can do some work together with boards and test plans and artifacts and pipelines and all kinds of good stuff. So let's create our first pipeline. Meat Popsicle says, love the .NET Conf and Marathon streams we did. Has helped you sell more of the tools to your team. Fantastic. That's awesome to hear, Meat Popsicle. I love hearing that. Can somebody clip that real quick for me? My name means James in English. Might be better to say. Okay. I can say Tiago. I can say James. Whatever works best for you, I will adjust appropriately. Hey, Gareth, good to see you. So let's create a new pipeline here using that pipeline definition that our friend DevLead put together. So we're going to reference GitHub. I will authorize with OAuth. Look at that. And there's CoreWiki right up top. And it found it. Look at that. I didn't even have to think, right? It just found it. Nice. Right? I mean, it's exactly what was written by DevLead. So we're going to, yep, go ahead, do it. Here we go. Come on.
It can be done exactly how I want it.
Yes, it can.
The only question is, are you the man to do it?
It actually wasn't me, it was Matthias, and it looks pretty good so far. So I think the only thing we need to do is figure out how to publish the test results, because we really want to see those test results, right? I'm a big fan of seeing test result numbers going up as new features get built. And I think that building some of those unit tests are an easy way for some of our viewers that are learning to get in and learn a little bit about the project, write a little C# code, and grow a little bit. And it's also something that some of us older guys that have been around for a while, like this guy right here, need to get back on our toes and start writing some better tests for our code. It is almost witchcraft, Welsh Ronaldo. New and shiny blink blink, says Bokyo. I think you're right. Is it Bokyo or is it Bokjo? I'm reading that and I'm thinking it's Bokyo. Let me know. Been on a deep dive with ML.NET and a ton of school student data. That sounds interesting. I think there's a great opportunity for us to do some ML.NET stuff. Can you export the YAML to a build with steps? What Abel showed us on the stream yesterday, the drag and drop magic. It is Bokyo. Thank you. Okay, terrific. I'll remember that. We are now building on Mac and Windows as well. Yes. Yes. So DevLead put this together for us so that we're getting it. We're sure it builds on all three platforms and on Docker. So that's really cool to see, and it's doing it all in parallel here. Right, and we can see all the log running here. I love seeing this executing cake bootstrapper. That's really cool. Turrican says, Jeff, you sent an interesting link about partial page refresh using jQuery unobtrusive Ajax library. It seems very easy to use with attributes, data Ajax true, and data Ajax update target in the form tag. Is this a thing for the wiki? Delete an item in a list without a full page reload. That's not a bad idea. You know what, Turrican, if that's something that you're interested in, put together a quick issue saying, here's something, let's do a partial page reload of the delete, and start a pull request on that. I'd be very interested in seeing that. Isn't the test plan paid extra? Test plans, yes, I believe so. The pipelines, we should be able to run our unit tests and publish the results. So I'm going to let this finish building here. It ran on Mac OS, so that's good. So I wonder if this full build might be too much for just that for that initial smoke test, that validation. What happened here? Oh, looks like somebody put together a recap of some of the stuff we did. All right. So this, yeah, see, it's taking several minutes to run the build, right? The Mac OS job took 2 minutes. The Windows job's taking a long time. It does run the tests, right? If I click into the Mac OS job, right? So when it executed cake here, and I love being able to click in and see the entire log here, right? It's installing all these packages, right? All that npm restore. And here it is running the test, and there, right? Tests passed, failed, right? Come on. I want to zoom in. Zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. A little bit hard to see right there. Is it meant to say Bootstrapper? Thought it was Bootstrapper. It is. We need to fix that name. That's okay. We'll fix it in just a second. So there's two things that I'm immediately seeing here that HMigo, you're right. We need to clean that up. We need to fix, right, the execute cake. This should say Bootstrapper. And we need to add in a task for publishing our unit test results because they are there. It's running the tests as well. Yeah, right? Look at the test run. Right? I'm going to scroll down here. 6 seconds to run the tests. Now, 6 seconds to run 30 tests. That means it ran 5 tests a second. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You know, as we get more tests into the mix here, it'll be interesting to see how that scales up. Depends on how scary it looks to you. There we go. Now it's building our Docker image. And Windows is still running here. Right? That's a lot going on there. It's taking a real long time to install all these all these packages. You know? I always found Windows to be the slowest of the bunch. I think it's because there's, right, a lot of the stuff that we're installing and using just isn't available locally, right? No, it's hosted VS 2017, so should be there, right? It should be there on disk. So, all right, plenty of time. Windows builds are also slower than Linux and Mac OS. You might be right. But I mean, right, these files, it says Visual Studio 2017. The content should be there, you know? So, all right, library is restored. Now it's actually doing the bundling and building. So the Docker stuff should pick up here. Right there it is, running the tests. And if it's running 4 sets of these, we should see 30 tests times 4. We should see 120 test results, right? So, let me go. Is it under pipelines or is it under? I think maybe it's under builds. Right. If I look at, right. So there's the first. This should come back and tell me that there was a build found, right? What's under analytics? What's here? Test failures. Report couldn't load. You need the analytics extension installed and enabled to use this feature. Okay. What's that do? You need to install the analytics extension. Okay. Gain insights into the health and status of your DevOps projects. Okay. Cycle time, velocity, burn down, burn up. Sure, do it. I'll take one of those. Right? I mean, looks good. Could it be in the test tab in the build itself? Well, it's not publishing, right? So now this, let me back up. Click to know more. Typically takes a few minutes. Check back. Okay. Well, we're not actually publishing test results, right? If I click into this, if we look over to tests, it's going to say something like, you're not publishing. Here it is. No test runs are available for this build. Enable automated tests in your build pipeline by running your test framework of choice. We did. If you choose to run tests using a custom task or runner, publish test results using publish test results task. That's what we want to do. So let's see how we can do this. Publish test results. So this looks like it's just another step during it. Following shows a Maven task configured to publish test results. And there's a YAML snippet. Test results format, test results files, search folder. So it looks like we need to actually output the files. Running everything in Cake will lock you out of automation of DevOps. Sure looks like it a little bit, yeah. But, I mean, by running it in Cake, we should be able to, right, grab the files here, right? When we ran the test in Cake, if it wrote the file to disk, we should be able to grab the file and import it here. The automatic stuff like detecting unit test output. Yeah, you're right, Brave Cobra. So we have to do some of this manually, which isn't terrible. So we added this. It's merged. I'd really like to get the little doodad here. What's this thing called? The build status, right? Like to get that into the project as well. So let's go back to our code over here. And I'm actually going to come back into this code. Let me do a git pull. No, I'm in the wrong branch. Rats. Yeah, I know. Git checkout, go back one. Yup. Git pull. Oh, man. There you go. Now you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so now we got Azure Pipelines.yaml. Cool. I feel like Azure Pipelines YAML should appear here in my build items collection. Yes, I know. So let's add that as an existing item so that it's visible to me inside of Visual Studio. Right? That way I can always just click on it and open things up. So it executes the Cake bootstrapper right here, which is build Cake. All right. So let's find where it's running the tests. Test. There it is. .NET Core tests, no build, no restore configuration. So I think we need to look at the Cake.NET Core test task so we can figure out exactly how to write this out. We don't write the output to XML. No, we do not. Why not use the regular steps like .NET build run, publish, etc.? Yes, Devly does know the proper syntax. This allows us to wrap things up and use this C# based syntax to build our build scripts so that we can build anywhere, not just on DevOps. So let's hey Martin, good to see you. There was talk in .NET Conf about XML. Who doesn't love XML? Right? XML makes the world go round. All right, so we need to look at the Cake, and it's the .NET Core test task. Cake, .NET Core. Here we go. .NET Core test. Configuration release. .NET Core test. All right. Settings. All right, is there some settings here? I used to write so many XML before and now write XAML and JSON. Well, that's a thing. Environment variables. Okay, filter, framework. Tell me there's an output file here. There we go. Output directory, results directory. Sets the results directory. This setting is only available from 2.0 upwards. Well, we're on that, so I think we're okay on that. So, results directory. Right, so we should be able to output a test results directory here. So if we put a comma and say results directory, right? So right now it's ./project. Run Cake locally to test it out. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Brave Cobra. Yeah, I think that's the way to go with this. Right, I think I want to reach, while we're, can we just say test results? Right? I mean, let's see what that does. So I want to run the test task. So I'm going to say Cake test. No. Where is it? Oh, I need to do a dot, right? Build. No. Yeah, that one. Test. And it should run just everything up to the test task. Hey, Fretya, what's up? DevOps in CoreWiki? Yes, we are. More than one build script specified. Well, that feels bad. So I can run .NET Cake directly. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. .NET Cake test. Could not find script. Okay. I want to specify the exact task to run. Exclusive, bootstrap. Huh? -T. Well, see, it's not here. Build PS1 -T. Right? Test. No. What do you mean more than one build script specified? I mean, this is about... Why don't you just tell me what your problem is? Yeah, you know what? You're losing me here. Yeah. No. Oh, is it because I have both deploy to Azure Cake and build Cake? Do I have to do it like that? No. Are you in the folder where Cake is? Yep. Oh, yes. Uh-huh. The fact that I can't... Okay, that worked. But I can't pass any arguments into it. Which feels like a pain in the neck. Right, looking. Install Cake. Where's the actual execution? Build Cake / bootstrap. And then build Cake arguments. Okay. Well, there it is. It ran and it did something. Did it write a test results? Ooh, look, test results. All right, so what's in test results? That feels weird. Okay, so that's a coverage report. That's interesting. That's not how you spell start. And now I feel shame. Test results. This thing. What's this look like? Send to? No. Open with? No. Darn it, I just want Notepad. Notepad. The editor of choice for choosy reporters on ZDNet. Didn't even try the VS 15.9 preview 2 yet. What issues have you found? I think I have it installed. I haven't seen any yet. So this is a code coverage report. This is not the XML report that I was expecting. So that's not entirely, right? We set the results directory, but it didn't output the XML for me. Is it output directory I need also? Let's try setting output directory there as well. Right? Not this. So let's try, right? I think it's also interesting. I specified all lowercase test results, and it turned it into Pascal case. Test results. That's not a spell. Test results. There we go. Do it again. All right, so there it is, doing the install, doing the thing. Here comes the stuff. Processor returned an error. Oh. Doom, doom, boom. Test results directory will be created in path if not exists. Yeah. Test adapter path. Well, holy crow. The source file. Test results, CoreWiki. Ah. Okay, so output path was the wrong one to use here. But I want to, right, I want to output the results. Enables data collector for the test run. What is that? What's data collector, you know? Monitor and analyze. Yeah. Oh, dear Lord. I just want the XML coming out here, fella. What the heck is this? I get frustrated too easily with some of this. I don't know what that is. Custom test adapter in the test run. I'm not doing that. Tool path. Gets or sets the tool path. No. Tool timeout. Dump. Not null. Not null. Throw if null. No, I don't care about those. Diagnostic file. Why are so many deployable files in .NET DLLs? I run a basic website and deploy for Razor pages, and the output is a DLL. Yet you're supposed to execute it. The output is a DLL because it's running as part of a shared framework. This is part of one of the design decisions around .NET Core. When you do build and you're in debug mode and you don't specify a target OS, it gives you this shared framework model. I'm going to turn on diagnostic file here and see what this outputs. Get rid of this. So that what you can do is if you specify a runtime identifier, it'll actually generate an executable for you. Hey, triple diamonds. So I'm outputting, this is diagnostic file. Right, so if I call this test results dot, let's call it XML, right? Because I can. So if you specify a runtime identifier that you want to target, you know, you want to say, yes, build this for Mac OS. Yes, build this for Ubuntu Linux. It will generate an appropriate executable for that platform. The DLL is platform agnostic. It's not coupled to a platform. So you can actually run your .NET command line against that DLL on any platform, and it expects to run as part of a shared framework, that there's some other assets available on disk. When you do perform a publish, and you are specifying the exact framework that you're going, the exact operating system, you will get an executable. You will get a .exe on Windows that you can then reference and use. Commercial break for Turrican. All right, hang on here. Here we go. Let's do this. 1 second. We're getting there. There it is. All right. Hang on. Commercial break. Okay, that's just stupid. I'm going to stop it right there. Go back to our music. Let's see. Publish XUnit test results in VSTS. Oh, it'll be a few more seconds. Okay, fine. Let's see what Brave Cobra has for us here. Using Cake. Fantastic. So what do? Does settings, new .NET Core test settings, argument customization, logger, trx, log file name, .NET Core test, and we're passing in the settings. Okay, so we need to, so this is our .NET Core test settings, which I think we're actually pretty close to, right? Let's move over here, hide this for right now, put this over here, arranging the screens. Here we go. Yeah, that looks like it. All right, new .NET Core test settings. So we want, I'm going to leave results directory for right now, but I'm going to get rid of this, and it's, can we do this? Can we just do that? Bazinga. That looks good. Okay, and then we need to add the published test results from test results XML. That could be the deal here. Let's see. I'll be back in a few seconds. NelsCon. Good day. Fellowship of Knowledge sent me here. Hey, terrific, NelsCon. Welcome. We're working on our CoreWiki project. This is a project we've been working on for a long time here on stream. It's intended to be a simple content management system, a wiki. We've built it with ASP.NET Core so it runs cross-platform, and we're trying out the new Azure DevOps tools to automate the building of this application, because we can get 10 continuous integration pipelines. So it'll automatically build our project for us free, because we're an open source project. So our friend DevLead put together a pipeline definition, a build definition for us, so we can see it building, and it runs great building on Mac, Windows, and Linux, and also a Docker image, as you can see there. But we also want to publish our test results. So I'm trying to extend my unit test configuration here so that it will publish my test results so that we can see that we're improving our unit tests. WorldWake asks, so is the point of the DLL that it can be loaded like any old DLL on Windows? Does it have any connection to dynamic linked libraries in that sense? It does. It does. And it still describes, when we think about a DLL, and to just back up a second, WorldWake is referencing that when you are in .NET Core, right? So this is a cross-platform build. Let me show you, if I go down into the CoreWiki project, to answer WorldWake's question, because this is something I want to make sure that you understand. So if we look in the debug folder, there's a .NET Core app, right? This is where the build is going. So in your dev folder, right, this is in your debug folder, this is a debug configuration. There's debugger files that come along with this, so that when you debug, it knows where to show you are in source control, in your source that you've written. And then we specify the platform that we're targeting, in this case, .NET Core app. There's several .NETs, of course. There's .NET Framework, .NET Core, .NET Standard, and Xamarin that you can target. So this is .NET Core 2.1 we're targeting, and these are the files that support it. These DLLs look funny if you were to deploy them to Mac. However, Mac or Linux, right, a non-Windows platform. However, it makes sense to continue to call them dynamic linked libraries, because the way you run these is by starting another executable and saying, run the content of the file that's over there in that folder. This way, you can use the same DLL on every platform. It's truly cross-platform and portable, just like a compiled Java app, right? You pick it up, you take it over somewhere else, and you can still run Java against that file, because it was built and it has that cross-platform content inside of the file. Now, when you get to that other platform, you need some sort of a runtime installed. If the runtime, that shared runtime, is installed over there, right? And we see the JRE you need to have installed for Java on different platforms, it'll run no problem. But what if you don't? Well, that's where we have this idea of the self-contained application, so that when you do build this and you say, yes, build CoreWiki and we want it to run on Windows, instead of generating CoreWiki DLL here, we'll actually generate an exe file. And that exe file you can run directly without having to invoke .NET. So that's how that works. And when we think about it, that might be something good to build during our pipelines, because then when we do our build for Windows or Linux, instead of building and having that shared platform that we're deploying to, which we don't really need because we know exactly which platform we're deploying to, which operating system, we can target that specific operating system and end up with files that are compiled and optimized for it and self-contained, an entire folder that has everything we need to run on just that operating system. And I learned in our session yesterday during the workshop with Brian that, right, the Python folks call that the wheel. And I think if we had a wheel for ASP.NET Core, that would be kind of handy. We had a couple followers there I want to make sure I shout out and say hello to. Colonel Burrito, Nels Khan, and is that run? What is that? You know what? This is kind of small. I need to enlarge. There we go. Runnian Nielsen, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. Self-contained delivers bigger builds. It does. Because you're delivering a self-contained build, you end up bringing everything that is installed on a shared runtime on a machine with you. So if you didn't, right, going back to the Java example, because Java's been doing this for 15 plus years, if you had to bring the entire Java runtime environment with you, of course it would be bigger. That's why people expect it to be pre-installed on the machine. Thank you, Nordis Power. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate the follow. Is it a wiki like the encyclopedia? Yes, Nelscon. That's exactly the type of thing that we're trying to build. And we have a runtime instance hanging out there at CoreWiki.info. So you can take a look at it. And there's links to the source code out there. I'm not going to close the contest, the theme contest, because nobody submitted anything. So if you want to build a theme and submit it over for inclusion, go ahead and do that, and we'll take a look. And whoever builds the coolest theme here, and I'll leave it open for a couple more weeks, I'll send out a works on my machine phone case. When does the stream end today? Now you're asking, like, end it now. No, I'm going to need to end at noon, because I have a couple of phone calls, a couple of meetings to get to, and then I'm actually traveling this afternoon to Indianapolis. I'm meeting a customer tomorrow and giving a presentation at an internal event of theirs all about .NET Core. So, thank you, Nelscon. I appreciate the kind words. We're trying to ensure folks learn, trying to be friendly, interactive here. There's a complete archive of everything we've done here on stream. You'll see the YouTube link up here. It's youtube.com/C#Fritz, just like my Twitter account that you see there. All right, let's see if this actually built and generated the tests for me, the test results the way that I wanted it to. So let me go back, run the build. I'm in the wrong folder. Try again. You're ending in almost time for Das Valdez to start a stream touring NASA JPL. Ooh, that sounds cool. Actually, our friend Chef Brent here in the chat room, I think Brent's going to be starting a stream. Well, he's getting ready to start some streams. Sorry, AutoMod got me. Oh, no. I don't have a screen up with the AutoMod here today. That's a problem. Yeah. So let's see. Logging VS Test Diagnostics in test results.xml. All right, so what's in that file? Right? What's in that file? I guess that's kind of like Brad Pitt with the movie Seven. What's in the box? Test results.host, and we've got this file and we've got that file. Well, which one is it? Open with Notepad. Well, that doesn't look like XML. Right? Okay. Let's go back over here. Logger is TRX. Isn't that just a different format for these? Right? Let's go back over to this. Oh wait, that's not my organization. All right, builds and CoreWiki. Yes. open it? Okay, build pipeline succeeded, manually queued. Yeah, how do I edit it? Yes, there it is. Good. Open it. No. How do I open it? I don't want to do a release. No. How do I open it? Edit? Ah, okay. I kind of expected user interface knit. I kind of expected edit to be over here when I selected the thing instead of having it up here as a button on this. Whatever. Pipeline, get sources. That's it. That's all it does. Okay. It was a good explanation. Oh, thank you, WorldWake. I will just resend it without the trigger word. I thought I was tough with my MediaWiki installation on a CentOS server. Well, I want to make the CoreWiki project real easy to install. Now, all right, so I'm seeing here, get sources, what's the variables, system debug, collection ID, variable groups. Oh, yeah. Okay. It didn't render anything here, and it's not showing me exactly what it's going to do. Right? The user interface here is completely shot to me. Are you making a sort of auto installation script for Linux Windows? So it'll actually run in a container. And we need to do some sort of a welcome script for it so that make it real easy to set up. But we have a deploy to Azure button right on the front of the project. So you can just click that and get it running on Azure in seconds. But I completely see what Brave Cobra was suggesting here, that because we're using Cake, I'm kind of in a lurch here. It gets sources, and then what? Right? Agent pool, pool information, manage. Right, so here it's pointing to this YAML file, and poof, I'm not able to do anything with it. And that feels bad. Right? And I can't right click and add another step. That feels weird. You know? I can't right click and add steps. Yeah, it's like I'm locked out completely because of how it's using the Cake. If we could export YAML to the build steps. Yes. Oh, yes. We can do that. I'm afraid that the build we have is right. If we look at here, right, it's we're kind of locked out of being able to do anything with this. Right. If I say export, what do we get? So, all right, it gives me some JSON, and I've got this. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. I gotta just write a quick response here to Mrs. C# Fritz. There we go. Good. Thus, my previous question, wait, can't we only do the reverse? Build steps to YAML. Export YAML to, hang on, I think Tiago it's the other way. It's you're importing YAML to the build steps. Yes, you can do that. I haven't seen how to do that, but Abel said that was possible for us to do. I'm going to do a new build pipeline here because something's a little wacky. Yes, use the C# Fritz. CoreWiki, yes. And I don't want that default Azure pipelines that it found. I don't want that. I know you found it over there, but I don't want that. Can I just delete it? What happens? I want something else. Not that. No, bad. No. I don't see a button where I can say, no, don't use this. I want to be able to say, use something else. What happens if no, it won't let me delete it. Well, this rots. VS Code. What is this? What is my favorite file editor? Yeah, Visual Studio Code. Absolutely. Big fan of Visual Studio Code. Lots of flexibility and features that you can do in there. Not a fan of this, not being able to choose a different file. There's a template file. You're done. Your goose is cooked. Yeah, I feel like that's a problem because I'm locked into this pipeline and I can't do anything with it. Let's do this. I'm gonna need to do this here locally so that we can do a little bit with this. All right. Did I ever open that test results XML? Need to figure that out. I'm going to create a folder here called pipelines. And I'm going to move Azure Pipelines into there. And I'm going to call this Azure Pipelines Cake. Thank you so much for the kind cheer, Turrican. Wow, 500 bits. Of course, I will match and make a donation on that. Yeah, absolutely. That was for the break. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, your goose is cooked. Absolutely. How it doesn't change it into steps. I agree, Brave Cobra. It is strange how it didn't do that. Hang on, let me save that. I didn't. All right. See, these are jobs, not steps. So I'm looking at that and kind of weird. All right, let me commit this move here. Git status, git add, moved to pipelines folder. Ooh, fancy. Okay. Now, I want to cut off. No, I pushed it up. I didn't push it. I didn't push it yet. Here. I'm going to remove. I'm going to remove this. C# Fritz. Because we know it does work, but I want to have it moved. It works, but it doesn't do everything I want it to yet. All right, now I can push up without fear of it actually. No. Git push. There we go. So Turrican, that makes you number 2 on the cheer tote board for the month. All right, there we go. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. You get the little 2 badge here in channel. So let's do new pipeline. GitHub. Yep, C# Fritz. We know that guy. CoreWiki. There we go. Now it's asking me, do you want a template? Now there was a way to tell it to go find it. I think that was after they had it built. But I do want to do an ASP.NET Core default template here, and it gives me this by default. Right, so it's pool, VM image, variables, steps. See, word for folks who are building tools, building frameworks. When you version and change the nomenclature of things quicker than people can adapt to it, you generate confusion. These are using different terms and steps than what is over here Yeah, it's not going to find it. No, not that. Yep, that's not there anymore. Add solution folder, yeah. Pipelines. Add existing item. See, this has jobs, right? And then pool and then steps. But none of these things actually rendered when we did the thing. So if I save and run here, right? So this is going to put it right at the root. There was a way to do this at a different location. All right, let's do this to start and let's see if we can. This is very opinionated that it runs it right away. Here we go. Come on. Come on there, fella. And I'm okay if it just builds and there it is. You know, it's doing its thing. But I want to add that test project in there. Edit it and see if it generated the steps. Yes, that's where we're going to go. So there it is. No builds found. Edit. Okay. So all it has is get sources. So how do I add steps? Triggers. Yeah, okay. Scheduled build completion. Now. History. I mean, there's, right? How do we add more steps? Help. How do I add steps? I guess your only option is to delete the file from version control and create a new empty build and define the triggers. I'll maximize the screen here. But we saw these two guys yesterday. Yeah. I want to use the visual designer. Yeah. How do I add tasks? New file. Yeah. Okay, pipeline's good. New build pipeline, we did that. Add a task. But it didn't show me the jobs. And there's no thing over here. Check the step where it says start with an empty job. You aren't kidding. Right? Get sources, right? Let's do this. Get sources and add a task to job 1 when they click on this. And they've even got a little grippy thing over here, right? There's nothing there. There's nothing here. Right? I mean, I'm in the visual designer. I'm on pipelines. I clicked into builds. It says tasks in the screenshot. Yours is YAML. You're right. How do I get to tasks? Right? Builds. Right? This thing. Right? Queue, security, rename, move, pause, add to my favorites, clone, save as template. I want to edit. And there's nothing here. And it says YAML. Right? I mean, it's not here. New build pipeline. Right? And that says tasks, variables, triggers, options, retention, history. Yeah. Create a new empty build, add the steps. You're skipping step 4 on the browser. No, so... Look. When I created new pipeline, it jumped right into... Right? Let's build a new one. New build pipeline. And I'm into this wizard. I can't get out. Let's do Visual Designer. Let's see if that does anything. Select your repository. Okay, so the wizard, if the wizard is really a wizard. No. All right, so I'll choose my repository. Oh my gosh. There it is. Okay, do that. Default branch for manual and scheduled builds. Yes. Okay. I don't want YAML, because as soon as I do that, I'm dead. I can't do anything with the designer. ASP.NET. Well, that's ASP.NET Web. ASP.NET Core build and test. That sounds right. Let's try that one. Okay, restore, build, test, publish artifact. Okay, that's fine. And let's run on hosted Ubuntu projects to test. Okay. That feels more right. Now, what's it publishing the artifacts to, right? So restore is going to run restore on the CS projects. Build is going to run .NET build. I think we need to run an npm restore as part of this as well. So I think I need to add... Now, right, I'm already looking here, and this feels so much better because that YAML just completely locked me out of anything that I was doing. I think I do need that npm restore. Let's see if I can find an npm install. Yeah, this one. Do that. Yeah, that's fine to do it there. Working folder with package.json. Well, that's going to be inside of this CoreWiki folder. Good. No custom registries. Sure. All right, so then it's going to build, it's going to run the test, and then it's going to run publish. That's fine. And then publish the artifacts out somewhere. Okay. That feels right. Let's give this a shot. Let's see how it goes. Search for cake. I could search for cake. Why do I need cake? I have a cake build there, but why? Hey, Cyralash, didn't see you there. Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, why do I need the cake task? Right? If I add cake, because then you have a step running cake. Yes, but it's not publishing my test results. I mean, let's install it. Let's see what happens. While that's happening, right? Let me rerun this and let's make sure that it actually drops my, publishes the XML results so that we can import it later. Come on. Excuse me. Okay. So there's a test results folder with a test results XML. That's old. But test results XML, let's see if that actually has XML or if it's lying. Nope, looks good. Fantastic. All right. So we can point to that file and we'll be able to actually do it. Because I didn't have the plugin installed. Is there a way to connect pipeline to GitHub organization? Yes. It's only showing my personal repos, but I have my stuff in a GitHub org. Yes. Let me go back here. When I did, where is it? My source. So I have GitHub here. When I look at my repositories and I choose, there's other organizations that I belong to and stuff that folks have shared with me. If I do load all repositories, it may actually show some of the private .NET repositories that I have access to. Oh dear Lord. Yeah, I belong to a big organization. How do I switch to the new DevOps view? My personal VS Online is still in the old style. I don't know, Fubarius. That's a good question. There you go. So you can see I'm in the ASP.NET projects here as well, in that organization that I'm invited to. So just click that show all and it'll find it. All right, so I installed the cake task here. So if I add this and I go find cake, I already did get it free, punk. Refresh. Add cake. Cake, build.cake, target. Sure. Verbose cake arguments. There are no arguments. There's only cake. Sure. So I should be able, if we're using cake, to chop this down a little bit. Cake. Oh, it's under your avatar preview features? There you go. That one right there. All right, so let's do this. Let's back up here. Oh, and you can view the XAML here as well. Cool. I don't want to save this. Go back. Leave. All right, so this is the one that I manually built. Wow. Okay. Hadn't heard that before. What's interesting to me is you don't see the other jobs here. I'm locked into YAML view because it was built with YAML. So what I'm going to do is I want to delete this one. I can't discard. It's over here. Let's get rid of this one. So this is c#fritz.CoreWiki. Get rid of that one. Let's try this one more time, but we'll use cake. All right, so new pipeline. Over in GitHub, and yes, me. There's CoreWiki right up top. And this is the Azure pipeline that it has in the project. I don't want to use this one. But as soon as I select the repository, it just dumps out and says, I found it. Use the visual designer in the first step. Back up one more. Okay. I keep missing that. There's some, okay, so I think, right, from our work here on stream and right, let's talk this through. I think we have some feedback for the DevOps team. When I click new pipeline here, location, and then GitHub and Azure repos, and then this, even though it's there, I would almost want to see, a bigger thing here that says, use the wizard to build a new pipeline, right? Bigger, bolder. Give me a nice juicy icon there, a magic wand or something that says, Jeff, you're not smart enough to do this on your own. Don't go alone. Let the wizard take you. What can I tell you? All right, so if I do this, there's CoreWiki. Cool. Dev branch. All right, so we'll let this go through. And now I'll find cake. No results found for cake. You make me sad. I don't want configuration as code because that... But cake isn't... Let's start with empty pipeline. Add my own steps. Okay. So agent on job 1. Agent job 1. Run on agent. Secret agent man. So we'll call this Linux build. Agent pool. Inherit from pipeline. No. We want to run on Ubuntu. Demands. I'm okay with that. Parallelism. None. Whatever. Okay. Dependencies. Sure. Right. All right. And now we're going to add a task, and we're going to go find cake. Cake. Love me some cake. There it is. Cake. Build.cake. Default, verbose, cake arguments. Yeah, that's what we want to do. And that'll generate, right? Because of what we've done, it'll generate that test results XML under test results. Test results XML. Right? Is that where we told it to go? That feels weird. Oh, because I said results directory here. That's okay. All right, so now I want to add a publish results, right? Or test results or something like that. Publish test results. There we go. Right, so let's add that. So publish test results. Right, so it's looking for test-star.xml. Well, ours is called testresults.xml. This is a name. I don't care what it's called. I want test result format, and we're using XUnit, right? XUnit? Right? XUnit? Just to confirm. Yeah, XUnit. Good. All right. Test results files, and we're looking for test results.xml. Search folder, or whatever. Merge test results, sure. Test run title, what's this? Provide a name for the test run. Link. What's link? Whatever. I think that's good enough. What do you think? Matthias did all that work for you. You should be able to import his. You should be able to, but because it's in YAML format, it won't. Pala572, thank you so much for the follow. It would be great to be able to import it and get it here in the designer. There is import pipeline. I don't. All right, let me save this. I'm not going to queue it. You're not going to let me choose a different folder? You make me sad. I can't do that? I've gone a little bit over here, haven't I? All right, let me just save that there. All right, so there it is. Let me go back to the builds. Okay. And you said there was import. Import. Is it here under new? Import a pipeline. All right. Select a build pipeline JSON file to import its contents. I don't have a JSON file. I have a YAML file. So that's... let's give this a shot and see what it does. I didn't... Right? Edit this thing. Hang on. I thought I said... Okay, this is Ubuntu 16.04. All right, so it doesn't matter that this says that. Because this build runs on Linux. Okay, that's fine, I guess. So let's grab this and queue it up. Give it a shot. Show me what you got. I don't care because we demand a different one. Go. But it does feel weird that, right, it jumps over agents. Let's see what this does. Come on. Come on. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Come on. Connecting. Yeah. I actually have that music. I should just play the music. Yeah, I'm a little bit over here. I have a 12:30 to get to. During .NET Conf, let me ask the chat room now. Did you see our friend Cam Soper doing the IoT talk where he actually had a camera on his breadboard during the stream? As usual, under Azure, the interface is wonky. My luck with Azure is quite poor. Under Personal Settings, Applications, Authorized OAuth Apps, there is an Azure Pipelines. Click that and you have to grant access to the organization. Oh, yes, by default it tries to grab all the organizations, and I've done that. Good find, Lithics. Good tip. Points to you. There you go. You can use those anywhere that fake Mario coins are available to be used. Okay, connect. Let's go. Build pipeline not started. Queued 2 minutes ago. Manually queued. Associated changes. Yeah. Do it. No test should be showing yet, right? And it's running in release mode. All right, whatever. Right, so you're saying, well, actually, personal settings, all that stuff, that's on GitHub. We're taking a long time here. Pardon me while I go watch the paint dry. Yeah. You know, let's go back to this. Edit. Right, so how do I add additional jobs underneath of this, right? So this is a job. Right, is this a task group? No. It looks like a task group. Assuming I know what a task group is. But, right, I'd like to be able to do more of these. This is an agent job. Well, how do I add more agent jobs? Oh, add an agent job. What's also funny is, as I look at this user interface, I almost forget that it's a web page. And that somebody actually spent time writing the HTML and the JavaScript to navigate me around this and enable some of the things that we're seeing and interacting with here. Is this thing still waiting to go? 3 minutes in. Well, that feels bad. So let me go back to builds and let's try new build pipeline. I'm going to use the visual designer. Go back to GitHub. CoreWiki. There it is. Default branch. Yep. Okay. We already have a YAML file. YAML file path. Now, can I click this and go find it? Aha. There it is. Right, so right here's right. I'm in YAML world at this point. Right, I can't change the file here locally. Right, so re-added the cake YAML build. Okay, sure, yep, okay, do it. I think the mismatch is haunting you there. I think you're right. Oh, I think you're right. So that build has been queued. So now if I go back over here, right, so now I've got two that have the exact same name. And that feels weird. Right, how do I... Oh, I can just click the name of it. This is manual Now let's call this wizard. So I know which one was done in the wizard. Right? I'll just save it. Back to the builds. And it failed. Why did it fail? Current operating system is not capable of running the task. It means the task was written for Windows only. No, it wasn't. So did it check out? Well, okay, Cake isn't installed, so I think actually we need to run the build, right? If I go back over to the build script that was written, right? If I look at build PS1, no, hang on. I don't see the pipelines folder here. This one? Right, he's not executing Cake. He's executing build to ensure that it gets Cake. So here's the thing, right? I'm attempting this build. I'm attempting to use the Cake task, but the Cake task can't run unless Cake is on the agent. So how do we ensure Cake is on the agent? You know? Build with Cake. Okay. Florence visiting me too. No. Nope. Okay, so how do I get... I mean, I see how he's doing the Cake demand. Yeah, major letdown that it's not deconstructing the other one into its individual jobs. That feels like a problem. Right, and if I go back to the other build, right, which is still running. There we go. So let's look at the Mac OS. Right, so I need to now manually add into this a publish XML task, which now feels, right? I gotta go figure out how to do that. So it executed, right, the bootstrapper. If I scroll down here, I should see that it wrote out the XML file, right? Test results XML. There it is. So let's cheat. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to click edit so I can look at the source of this. Particularly, I want to look at the XML. Right, there it is. This is the task to publish the test results. So let's do this. Let's grab this. Right? Hey, where'd it go? You. Why did it close automatically? All right. So that's the build. Let me go over to your Azure pipelines, and I feel like, right, thinking out loud, thinking I can do this. So it runs the build. So after it's done the build, I want to run the task. So let's clean this up. Take this and push it over one, and I think I want to do the same thing on each of the platforms. Oops. Right? Do I have that right?